BookTube. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and this is the currently reading tag. I was tagged to do this by Kirsten from Reader Girl 007, so you should definitely check out her channel. The thing I love about her is that she gets right to the point. Most of her videos are less than 2 minutes long. If she's going to review a book, she'll tell you what she thinks of it right then, and you can fit one of her videos in no matter how much or how little time you have. You've always got time to watch one of her videos because the majority of them are brief and to the point. I always strive to do that, but I'm a rambler, so I end up chopping my videos to death because I just ramble. So anyway, let's get to it. The first question is, how many books do you usually read at once? Well, if you look at my Goodreads page, it can range from 3 to 6. I have 3 currently right now, so I try to have at least one fiction book going. Then I try to have a non-fiction book going, and this one's been on my currently reading list forever because once I got started reading these books, I just have been going strong on those, and I have not picked this back up in several weeks. So I do want to get to this though, and this is my current nonfiction book that I'm reading. Then I also have an audio book going, at least one. This one called Seeker by Arwen Ellis Dayton is what I'm listening to in my kitchen right now. And then a lot of times I have a different audiobook in my car. Right now I'm in between books in my car, and I don't have anything right now that I'm listening to. If I am reading something, let's say for book club, that I'm not particularly enjoying, I will set a page goal to read so many pages a day. Then I can pick up the book that I most want to enjoy. There is a really awesome booktuber. She's actually the first one that I ever subscribed to, Gwen from the Gwendolyn Reading Method. And she has a really wonderful method of how to read more than one book at a time. So I will link down below her video called What is the Gwendolyn Reading Method, because that really spells out how she divides her books into different levels of fiction, and how the ones that require more brain power, she'll read those earlier in the day, and the ones that are level 3 that don't require much brain power, she reads those at night to wind down, and then nonfiction on the weekends. And yeah, it's just really, really great, and she is able to read an amazing amount of books per year by following that method. So check out her video. But for me, I like to read anywhere from 3 to 6 at one time. Okay, number 2, if you're reading more than one book at a time, how do you decide when to switch? Well, again, that goes back to different times of day you feel differently. If I've got a book that requires a lot more brain power or a lot more thought, then I'm going to need to read that earlier in the day. And then at night I can pick up something that is lighter and fun. So it just depends on the time of day. Like I said, if I am reading something for book club and I'm not really enjoying it, then I will set a page goal per day. And once I read, say, 20 pages for the book that I'm not enjoying, I will put that down and pick up what I really want to read out, for the rest of the day. Number 3, do you ever switch bookmarks while you're partway through a book? Well, not on purpose, but sometimes they fall out of the book, or take it out to read and it falls in the crack somewhere, and I can't find it, and I have to end up finding something else. Or maybe I start out with a random piece of paper, and then at some point I remember to go and get an actual bookmark and switch it out. So yeah, I'll switch bookmarks in mid-book. Number 4, where do you keep the books that you are currently reading? Well, I just stuck these behind me because I thought it would be a good backdrop, but usually I keep it right at hand. If I am going to be going out and about, I stick it in my purse. If I'm at home, I put it either right by the chair in the living room, or I leave it on the kitchen table so that I can grab it regardless of where I'm going to go sit and read. I try to keep it in a central location so that I don't lose it. Sometimes I lose it, even though I put it where I thought I was going to put it. In fact, when I was getting ready to film this video, I started going around the house. I must have gone around the house 2 or 3 times before I finally found my book, and it was on the kitchen table the whole time. It was just behind something else that had gotten set there, and I didn't see it. I try to always keep it where I can find it, but that doesn't always happen. Number 5, what time of day do you spend the most time reading? Well, probably early morning and late evening. If early morning is my best time if I have time, but I don't always have time. So in late evening, I tend to fall asleep, although that's when I have the most time. So I take a book with me wherever I go, and when I have any time, I try to stop and read. Number 6, how long do you typically read for in one go? Well, it just depends on how much time I have. Usually not longer than an hour at a time, because I rarely have that much time to spend. But, you know, probably 30 minutes or so at a time. Number 7, do you read hardcovers with the dust jacket on or off? I like to keep them on. There's just something about it, it just makes me feel like I'm reading the whole book. I don't like to take them off. I'm very visually oriented, and I love the look of the covers. I love how they feel, and yeah, they do kind of move around a little bit, and it's kind of bothersome sometimes, but I just like to read with them on. I've heard most people say they take them off. I don't. I leave them on. It just adds to the beauty of the book, and I like to leave them on. Number 8, which position do you mainly use to read? I have to read sitting up. Even when I sit in the recliner and lean back too far, I start dozing off. My best place to read really is at the kitchen table. I can have a cup of coffee, a snack if I want. I will sometimes read at the we have a computer on the kitchen counter, on one side of the kitchen counter, with a couple of bar stools with backs, so I can sit at the kitchen counter with the computer, and I can put my feet up in the other bar stool and lean back a little bit, but it's still upright enough that I can read from there, and I do read successfully there, or sometimes I move over to the dining room table, which is in the kitchen. If I say dining room table or kitchen table, it's the same thing. So yeah, I like to read at the table. Occasionally I'll lay down to read, but only if I'm really just trying to read myself to sleep, because I will go to sleep if I lay down. Number 9, do you take a book with you everywhere you go? Pretty much, yes. Number 10, how often do you update your progress on Goodreads? Well, I definitely try to do it when I finish a book. You know, like when I finish a book, I go on and do my review, and then add the book that I have started or that I'm about to start to my currently reading. I'm not real good at updating page numbers. I know I have one friend that she updates her page numbers almost every day, and I did that a couple times, and then all of a sudden, I realized it was going to my Facebook feed, and I thought, all these Facebook friends, they don't care what page I'm on in a book. And this was before I started booktubing. Then I finally discovered in the settings, the Goodreads settings, how you could turn that off, and then you could choose what goes to Facebook and what doesn't. So when I complete a book, it goes to Facebook, but when I just update the page counts, it doesn't go to Facebook. But I do still, occasionally I will put it in, especially if I'm reading something that's taken me a long time, or that's especially good, or maybe that another friend is reading or something. I don't know. It just kind of depends. I don't very often update what page I'm on. So it's just whenever I finish a book. Number 10, who would you like to tag? Well, I looked on my subscriber list for people that I don't think have done this tag. So I'm going to tag Akos of Akasi with K. You got to check out her channel. She's awesome. She's one of the nicest people on BookTube. So if you have not met her online or have not watched her videos, you gotta check out her channel. Then a new friend I have on BookTube is Jenee at shewouldstay. And also, I want to tag Michelle of Michelle Fluttering Butterflies. She has her own channel, but she's also one of the Bookish Brits. So you may have seen either of those channels. You should check those out. So those are my people that I want to tag, and I hope you have fun doing this tag. And thanks again to Reader Girl 007 for tagging me. So I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.